Hey guys, anybody who is watching this in the future, just wanted to say hello and you're awesome. And um, dang it, I don't know if it started a new live stream or not. My internet was acting funny. Do do do. Hey Jen, how are you, girl? I saw you on Mike's live stream. What have you been up to today? Hey Isabella. Hey Butterflies in Space. I really needed to do a better job of talking through the dead air in the beginning, but it's good to see you. Joe, Isabella, Katzenklopt. UPS again, unprepared surprise. Well, listen, if it's UPS, they do decent. FedEx, not so much. Jen, what are you making for dinner? Hell, hey, how are you doing? Brian says, hi, friends. It's good to see all these familiar faces. We are currently making meatloaf and squashes for dinner. I don't know why I like to say squashes in the plural, but we are growing squash in our garden, and so we have to find ways to use it. And so Jay is a big fan of meatloaf. So, but we have to kind of like share the duties on the days that I have carpool, because I have carpool every other week. So I share carpool with one other parent. And so on the days that I have carpool, I'm usually smarter and I will pick easier to cook meals. But this week, I kind of forgot that I had carpool this whole entire week. And so Jay kind of had to step in and save the day. What kind of squash? Jen says, yeah, good question. It's funny because my neighbor next door was like, what is squash? I was like, what do you mean, what is squash? Like, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of squash. And, so there's like acorn squash, and technically, I think pumpkins are considered squash, but we have pumpkins, winter and summer squashes, I think. So, like the yellow and the green squash, pumpkins, and I tried to grow acorn squash, try and fail. So, hey, Mike. Everybody say hi to Mike. This is his stream now. Mike Mike, how long did your stream go today? I joined in on it. It was good times. Autismatic was in there, and I was really surprised to see that Quinn. And I don't think I've seen him in any live streams ever. 4 hours. That's child's play compared to what you normally do. But you keep leading up to like wanting to do a 24-hour stream. Mike, are you ever going to do that? I know you talked about doing that for like a charity stream, but now it seems like you're like gearing up towards doing. Sorry, guys, I'm looking off to the side. This is where my computer's set up now. Isabella, you're such a staple. I really appreciate seeing you in all of our chats. I really do. I've heard that you have an interview coming up, but I won't say what. It's time to sit on the couch in my PJs. So Mike did a live stream today and I popped in to say hello. And the minute I popped in, Mike was like, "Hey, Jen, you've got the ADHD, right? Like, you can be spontaneous, right? Like, you want to hop on this live stream right now?" Obviously, he was kind of like giving me crap, but I was literally in the middle of changing my clothes when he asked that. And so then uh, everybody else was like, "Oh, that could be awkward. What is she doing right now?" And somebody else was like, "She's probably in PJs and like crazy hair right now." And Mike is like, "Hey, you want to pop in?" And I was like, "Actually, I was changing." So that might have been kind of awkward, but it was funny. Um, anyways, Quinn from Autismatic hopped on later on, which I can't even tell you how surprised I was to see Quinn in there. Um, "Hey, furry slippers," and, it was awesome to see Quinn in there from Autismatic. Um, I was telling my husband today that obviously there's a lot of YouTubers that I connect with on a very personal level, but as far as, like, uh, a brain soulmate goes, if you listen to Quinn from Autismatic, I feel like he, fits me the best, and in the way that I think, but I don't really relay that in my, videos because I'm kinda quirky and he's a little bit more monotone, but just in the way that he speaks and, uh, the research that he does and how he's so careful with his words, um, I can just kinda tell that, like, he's an awesome guy if you guys haven't already checked him out, but man, Mike, you must be an awesome guy to get Quinn from Autismatic in your live streams. Verbal thinker, yes, yes, Mike. So that's why when you were doing your live stream, I said, "Hey, my linguistic buddy," because I am also a verbal thinker. You wouldn't you wouldn't pick up on it in my videos because I act very quirky. But uh has I, I feel like I hope everybody in here has seen Autistic Jenny. Okay, I subbed to him today. That's great. Um he was one of the earlier ones that I subbed to, and he did a video not too long ago about different thinking styles. And so there are some existing thinking styles put out there, and I think that includes like mathematical, artistic. Mike, help me out here. What else is there? But Autismatic tried to kind of introduce a new style of thinking, which is like verbal thinkers, which is like really poring over word choices and over analyzing how you use words. And I really relate to that. Again, I'm super quirky and you guys wouldn't believe that, but that is actually what so I'm impressed, autistic AF, that you picked up on that. Don't put me on the spot, Jen. Mike, you've got the Googles, so just research that now. Furry Slipper says, "Came to the realization today on why I can't do anything else when I'm waiting. If I try to do something else and what I'm waiting for happens, it can cause me to panic." um, trying to process that. Came to the realization today on why I can't do anything else when I'm waiting. If I try something else and what I'm waiting for happens, it causes me to panic. I mean, is that like a shift in kind of your expectations? Hey, James, what's up, man? Quirky is my jam, Jen says. It was really interesting to hear Quinn talk about thinking that he might also have ADHD because I don't really pick up on that from him, but I absolutely do for, Mike. Mike, have you not also been diagnosed with that? Like, I just thought that was a given. I thought we talked about that. I thought that was just a given. Um, but anyways, Mike, I don't know if you saw, but when you were trying to figure out Catmageddon so in Mike's live streams, he does Catmageddon a lot of times. Well, you've got something hooked up for when okay, Mike says, "No, I spent the monies on an autism assessment and didn't stretch for ADHD." I was like, "Come on, you could have gotten more bang for your buck." That was penny wise, pound foolish, man. Um, but you definitely have the ADHD. I feel it here. Um, but anyway, so Mike has a machine hooked up for whenever somebody else gives a super chat. The cats get fed, but right now you have like some kittens, I think. And so you didn't really want to mix the two. But, anyways, so somebody gave a super chat in there, and I was joking around because Mike was quickly trying to figure out how to live stream the kittens instead of the big cats. He didn't want them to all get like, territorial or angry at each other, confused. And so it was like a $10 super chat. And I was like, if somebody gave this man a $100 super chat, he would figure out how to get the astronauts on the ISS back home. Because somebody gave like $10 and he was like, all right, I'm going to figure out a new way to do things. But anyways, Jonathan says the chickens were a great addition. For who? I've missed important things I need. Jonathan says, I'm just scrolling up to see context. Jonathan said, I've missed important things I need to do because I started doing something in the meantime many times. Yep, that's ADHD, my friend. Context is the live stream with your son. So Jonathan, I did a video interviewing my kiddo who was diagnosed with autism, and he is definitely the stereotypical PF who gives $100 super chats. Weren't you the one? Yes, you were the one that gave me a huge super chat on my 1-year anniversary when I was talking about how I got my very first ever super chat was like 120 NOK or something like that. And obviously I was like, wow, oh my gosh, is this what everybody does? I just like talk on, the YouTubes and people give me $120. Like this was like so early on in my YouTube career, and I didn't even pay attention that it was NOK, a different currency. And I really thought that somebody gave me over $100, and it ended up being like $12 or something like that. And I think it was PF. I think you were the one who gave me like $120 dollars super chat because you were making up for my misconception. But anyways, back to my interview with my kiddo who was diagnosed with autism. And then obviously that's what led to my diagnosis. And he is the very stereotypical white boy male presentation of autism with all of the stems. And that was how his teacher recognized that he was on the spectrum. And I am so very grateful for that. But I thought it would be fun to, actually, he came to me and he said that he would like to be on my YouTube channel. He keeps telling all of it, like, he keeps telling me that, like, he tells me about some of the kids that bully him at school, and he tells me, like, "Mom, if you just went in there and told them that you were a YouTuber, they would respect you." And I'm like, If they knew what I was talking about, I don't know that they would." Um, but apparently social media influencers are a big deal, and he thinks that I have a whole bunch of clout. I do not, and I am also not a social media influencer. I don't think I'm influencing anybody. Um, but yeah, Mike says he's got the classic flavoritism. Yeah. Um, it's funny because I try to be careful talking about him, um, because obviously he's going to become an adult someday, and I really want to respect his privacy and be careful about what I say about him. But let's just say he's got the classic flavor of the tism that got him noticed in a way that nobody would have ever noticed me, which is frustrating and sad in a lot of ways. That I never would have gotten noticed if he wouldn't have. Mike, who bullies him, let me at him. Dude, I said the same thing recently, actually. And I'm supposed to be like the mature adult um, that understands that kids are just, being kids. But the other day, because we always try to have dinner together as a family. And the other day he told me, sorry guys, I'm stimming a lot because I have just kind of had a few brain dead days where I just am like, I'm not like totally mentally there. And but I still wanted to just like hop on and do a live stream, which is hard for me when I'm not like totally up to it. But he was telling my husband and I, while we were having dinner the other day, that he doesn't understand other kids because learning is apparently not acceptable. That's dorky. And, my kid is actually there to learn. And telling the truth is dorky and not acceptable. And he tries to he actually I got a call from the school counselor because he was being overly they were playing a game, and my son caught on to a pattern that the teacher was employing playing this game, and he caught on to it, and so he told everybody because he's just honest as can be, and he is also smart enough to recognize the pattern that the teacher was employing, and he picked up on it and the advantage, and so he told everybody. And then a few of the other kids were like, shush, shut up, they got irritated with him for giving away the strategy, but he just saw it and thought that he would help the other kids out, that whole being honest with other kids and just speaking his truth. So it was really sad to hear him talk about how he just really feels like, learning is not cool and telling the truth is not cool, like by his peers. And his natural inclination is like, we're here to learn, right? We should tell the truth, right? And so he comes home and he's so confused about these things. He's so confused because that just makes sense to him. And that's not neurotypical standards. That's not neurotypical speak. Kelly says, I also hated school and now I work at one. Oh, the irony. What do you do, Kelly? What do you do if you're working in a school? I couldn't do that. What grade do you teach? Zach says, I hated elementary, middle, and high school. So I didn't struggle with elementary school, middle school, which is like sixth year for like my UK and Australian watchers. Um, but middle school, when I was about, let's see, 11, 12, 11, I think, 11 years old, is when I really started to realize that I was kind of different from some of the other kids. Um, oh, Kelly is midnight on the Discord channel. Okay, so if you guys aren't on my Discord, I'll plug it again. It's free. I'm not on there as much as I would like to be because I get overwhelmed by messages, but we have definitely created a community over there for people to chat and share funny memes and frustrations, diagnosis, resources. We've got a general chat where we just like say, hey, good morning, what's up? And Zach really helped out with setting that up. Leela says, my non-speaking kid is in a self-contained autism classroom for kids with moderate to high support needs. I don't have to worry about bullying there. Oh, that's sweet. But Leela, what a challenge that must be to have a non-speaking kid. But it's, you know, I have a lot of questions about this. Forgive my ignorance, Leela, but if your kiddo is non-speaking, do they use tools to communicate with you? How do you accommodate that? But I'm glad that they don't have to deal with bullying. Furry Slipper says, Jen, I am diagnosed CPTSD, waiting on results for ADHD and ASD. Apparently, now it's more than likely that there's more than one condition. So again, I've talked about this before, that CPTSD can closely mirror autism. And there are some really good videos on that crossover. Because obviously one is a neurological condition and the other is, like childhood related post-traumatic stress syndrome. And they can both affect you very differently. And so, but that doesn't exclude ADHD and ASD. So it could be that you have CPTSD, also ADHD and ASD, but it could also mean that maybe you were misdiagnosed with CPTSD. And honestly, I see a lot of people who have been diagnosed with autism say that they struggle with having had parents that were narcissistic. And I really think that a lot of people who think that they had narcissistic parents, which contributed to some childhood trauma, might have actually been parents who are struggling with autism themselves. Because we now know that autism has such a large hereditary component, and we know that there are a lot of crossover areas that can make someone think that someone who is on the spectrum is narcissistic. Hell says, oh, it jumped. Oh, this is what Orion's always talking about. It jumped. Hell says, I'd like to join your Discord team. Jen, I'm not very active either, but seeking belonging and acceptance. Yeah, so, obviously you're finding that here, hopefully. But if you want to jump on my Discord, it's in the link of most of my videos now and on my website. Furry Slipper says, I'm in Scotland, by the way. Yeah, what time is it in Scotland? Malhus says, the history of psychology is just repeated ignoring of it's a dialectic. Yeah, Mike is in the Isle of Man, so everybody's kind of giving where they're from. And Mike says, Isle of Man here, also pretty tired. The quality of bodily doubling here is excellent. So yeah, Mike did a 4-hour live stream and I was there. It was fun for quite a while until I had to go. And I am impressed that you're here supporting me right now. I really appreciate that. 1 a.m. Mike, get off this live stream. Go to bed right now. If I tell him that, he's going to have PDA and not do it. Mike, go to sleep. Go away. Wow, 1 a.m. for a lot of people. All right, so all the people who are up at 1 a.m., I'm just going to go ahead and diagnose you with autism or ADHD also. I'm just kidding. But seriously, sleep can be an issue for those of us who have ADHD. Jeffrey, yes, Jeffrey, I remember you from Queens, New York City. Because in one of my last streams, Jeffrey was like, I am from Queens, New York City. And for those of you who are not here in the States, New York City is pretty expensive, especially if you're like in some of the central parts of like the bigger cities. I mean, there's some like northern regions, like oh my gosh, that are like more farmland that aren't like, you know, as expensive as like Queens and stuff like that. I'm like, Jeffrey, how do you afford it? How do you afford Queens, New York? Acorn says, bye, Acorn. Acorn, you've been awesome in our Discord channel lately. That's been great. I've appreciated seeing you there. C. Blaney says, I haven't slept properly for decades, and last week-ish, about 2 hours per night. Ugh, C. Blaney, that's not good. Because I think there's a lot of studies that have shown that we need a lot more sleep. Not a lot more sleep. It's about like maybe 20 minutes difference. But when you think about the impact of how much that can affect your day, it doesn't seem so small. Spicy has to go too. Bye, Spicy. Concrete Jungle says, yes, disturbed sleep is a theme. So, Jeffrey says Queens is a lot less expensive than Manhattan and Brooklyn. I guarantee you, though, Jeffrey, still 5 times what I'm paying here in Denver, and Denver is bad. Jonathan says we need 8 hours for health. Yeah, so there are some studies out there that show that people that have autism and ADHD need an average of 15 to 20 extra minutes of sleep. So again, that doesn't seem like a ton, but it is a lot when you are dealing with how that affects your day, because it's like maybe a neurotypical doesn't get their needed amount of sleep, but it doesn't cause them to shut down or go into meltdowns. It just like maybe they don't feel as great, but for someone with autism, it can change your whole day to the point where you are shutting down or having a meltdown. So we try to be very mindful to get my kiddo to bed on time. But interestingly enough, I have also found that sleeping too much is not great either. I feel tired if I get too much sleep. So Leela says, "And we aren't falling asleep at a quote unquote normal hour." Yeah, so that's my issue. Like, I am absolutely a night owl. And um, I do not want to fall asleep when. So lately, my husband has been like, my bedtime is 9:30 because he has to wake up at like 5. And he's great. He's like, "You don't have to go to sleep with me, but if you want cuddles, then you're gonna have to like come to sleep at 9:30." And it has been like my son's school bus schedule changed as well. So I have had to wake up about an hour and a half earlier than I did last year, and certainly it's been quite a change from my summer schedule. So I have been trying to abide by the 9:30 p.m. bedtime, which feels like such an old person bedtime. But waking up at like 6 a.m. has been really great for me because I don't feel like I've slept too little and I don't feel like I've slept too long. It seems to like hit that sweet spot that I never would have like discovered if my kiddo's bus schedule didn't change. So, um, Jenna G, hi Jen, hi Jenna. Kelly says, "I don't know how to sleep more than 4 hours. The toss and turn for 3, but I am trying to work on that." Yeah. So again, like there have been so many studies that have shown why we struggle with sleep regulation between ADHD and autism. And the causes are different, but the ending result so from both of these conditions and a lot of the issues that we face are similar. So for ADHD, it might be because you've got an overactive mind. For autism, it might be discomfort from like sensory issues or, um, rooms too cold, too hot. But speaking of, we recently got my kiddo a 20-pound weighted blanket. And because he had so many blankets on his bed that I would have to like, because I've got OCD, so I have to make his bed and clean his room every day, even though nobody's going to see it and it doesn't matter. And it takes time away from bigger projects that I want to pursue, but OCD, so I have to make his bed and his room every day. And so previously he had like 5 blankets on there that I would have to like, you know, lay each one of them out every day. There's his main blanket and like 5 other blankets. And so I was eventually like, you know what? I'm going to replace this with a weighted blanket. And we talked to him about it. And he was like, yeah, let's do that. Because he liked the weight of the 5 blankets. So let's replace 5 blankets with 1. And I was like, go big or go home. So I got him a 20-pounder and it's so heavy. But he loves it. We also got him a new pillow, and he talked about how much that changed his world for a week. And so if you guys ever wonder if, like autistic kids really, really feel change, worry about change, he talked about having a different pillow and a different blanket for an entire week and how awesome it was. Like it changed his world. It occupied space in his mind. He was super grateful for it. Kolik says, I think mine is a 15-pound weighted blanket. Yeah, I wish I would have gone with 15 pounds. That would have been a whole lot easier to get onto his bed. And the funny thing is that when I ordered it, I really so stupid. But I was like, how is this blanket gonna be 15 pounds? Like, I could not, in my mind, imagine what could make a blanket so heavy. It's, like, sewn off sections with, like, they're like bean bags. And, but my brain couldn't comprehend how they got them to be weighted until I received it. But yes, I wish I would have gone with a 15-pound weighted blanket. But yeah, so Mike asked how he's getting on with the weighted blanket. So he loves it. It was life changing. He talked about it for a week. Touye says, "Hi, y'all. Hi, all." I say y'all a lot lately in my videos, and I'm not Southern, so that's a thing. I feel like that's a masking thing I do. There's some new names in here. Yeah, Colex, Touye, Malhas. If you guys have been in any of my previous live streams, I apologize. Leela says, having featherlight duvets doesn't mix well with my sensory seeker current liquid cream toothpaste play. We have a 5 to 7 pound throw for the couch, which is versatile. We also have weighted stuffies. So I tried to get under my kiddo's weighted blanket to see if I would like it, and I could not figure out if I liked it. Orion, my mic is working. Now that Orion's here, my mic is going to automatically shut off. That's not a mic. This is a mic. It's good to see you, Orion. Orion Kelly, that autistic guy. Everybody's excited to see Orion. I appreciate it, Orion. Seeing you in my chat brightens my day. I appreciate it. Jenna says, so I'm just going to go ahead and like read everybody's screen name and talk about how they say hi to Orion. But I love it. I appreciate it. If you guys have not subscribed to Orion's, he hates it when I do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. If you guys have not subscribed to his podcast channel, which is separate from his regular channel, he recently did a video on neurodiverse love languages, and I thought it was pretty good. He talked about how we like to info dump, and that is a form of bonding, which can seem very narcissistic. Gift giving is kind of another one that we struggle with a little bit. What were some of the other ones you brought up, Orion? Says the love language video is great. So I feel like the reason why Orion has a separate podcast specific YouTube channel rather than putting it on, and he's got separate mics for the two and everything. Guy, it's like the guy used to work in radio or something, but he has, I think it's like so that it can like push it out to some of the podcast streams and whatnot. I'm not there, you guys. I'm still a small fish in a big ocean, floundering my way through the YouTube sphere and hoping that people will find me. I'm not doing all these like podcast channels and Spotify and Apple Music and whatever. I'm on YouTube, you guys. This is it. This is me. Oh, Dan Dory said problem solving. Yes. Although I do feel like that is kind of more of a male specific trait in some regard. because, it's funny because when I talk about, we all talk about our autistic experiences, our autistic and or ADHD experiences through our own lenses, and a lot of times I feel like my uh, female nature crawls in there, and we have more like we are more socially motivated, so we might be like have less issues with social cues, and so a guy might also, aka Ryan Kelly, might view things more through like a guy's lens, and I think that problem solving is kind of one of those like guy's lens things as well, but it is absolutely true to an autistic love language, because I myself had to back myself down off of offering solutions and trying to be truthful to my husband and telling him, like, look, did you consider this? You might be doing this incorrectly. Um, which they don't like when they're trying to. So when they're trying to like just, vent. But yeah, problem solving was one of the other ones. Um, so yeah. Mel says, yeah, we're allowed to mansplain. I feel like I'm female splaining. I don't know. Stan. Sup, friend. Smickety Smooth says, hi, Twal. I'm in the NL, new here to live, but have watched lots of Neurodivergent and found them helpful. I've seen you around, Smickety Smooth. How could anybody say your name without laughing or smiling? That's great. I love it. So Smickety, I'm glad to see you. If you're not normally here, a part of my live streams, where have you been, man? Time zones? I've got like 12 people in here telling me it's 1 a.m., which is crazy to me. So anyways, one of the love languages that I feel like I would have added to Orion's video is acts of service. And my reasoning for that was because I can do things around the house or do just go words, acts of service that I don't, to kind of make up for where I lack in emotions, vocalizing emotions, how much I care about you. I feel like gift giving and acts of service are some of the ways that we kind of try to make up for areas that we lack in the emotions and signs of like shows of affection department. Now, I don't struggle in the physical touch area. I actually enjoy that, and my husband constantly tells me he's appreciative that I don't struggle in that area. But there are a lot of people on the spectrum that absolutely do. And I do sometimes, right? Like it depends. Like sometimes it can be grating, but I'm not completely averse to touch. But my point is that for the areas that I lack in, that I feel like I just don't like vocalize that I love you, I don't maybe show it in other ways. I'm like, but I can clean the house and let you nap, and then like let me show you I care. Orion says, I love Jen. She's my bestie. Even though you give me crap in all of your live streams for not like showing. Orion called me The bad Jen. Autistic Jenny, are you still here? Because he called autistic Jenny the good Jen and called me the bad Jen. Ryan said eat Vegemite Jen. So I have a confession to make. I like Vegemite now. I gave it a second chance. For those of you who haven't seen my shorts on it, I did a couple of shorts. Orion sent me some Vegemite with a book that I ordered off of his channel because he thought that that would be hilarious. And so I videotaped myself eating it, and the initial reaction was absolute shock because it is very, very salty, and it's unlike anything that I've ever tasted in my whole entire life. And so it really kind of jarred me. And the reaction that I filmed in my short was a genuine reaction. It was just like, what the hell is this? Like, it felt like electricity on my tongue. And, but I had, bless the internet, a whole ton of people came in and told me, like, it's got B vitamins, it's good for you. People use it for hangover cures. And I'm the type of person that if I have 1 beer, 2 beers, I feel off the next morning. I'm so sensitive. And so there was a time after that I had a couple of beers and I was like, let me see if all of these internet comments are true. And I tried some, and I don't know what it was, but it was like, it was not as shocking. It wasn't as jarring the second time that I tried it. And I was like, this is not so bad. And now, now I like it. So I was told it was an acquired taste, and apparently it really is. I'm sorry. Leela says the flavor is memorable. All right. I still remember trying it in the 90s. Okay. So I let my husband try some, and I was like, wait, you just have to give it a chance. It's an acquired taste. And he tried some and he had the exact same reaction I did. He was like, ah. He was like trying to wipe it off his tongue. And I was like, no, you don't understand. It's an acquired taste. Anyways, it's snickety smoo. It's yeast extract, so I suppose it grows on you. Ugh. Leela P, where can we get it in the US? So I found out you can order on Amazon, and I've already ordered 2 refills. So yeah, I feel like a big old hypocrite now, but my videos were legitimate first reactions as an American trying it for the first time. And I was told by a certain Australian guy that it's an acquired taste. And I totally didn't believe it, but believe it. It's an acquired taste. So if you guys have not tried it, give it a shot. You can order it on Amazon if you live in the US. And all of my UK people, my Australian people, go ahead and give your advice in the comments if you haven't already about how sparingly you're supposed to use it and how much butter you're supposed to have with it. And you're supposed to have it on toast. And apparently you can eat it with cheese and crackers. So Mike says Maramite / Vegemite makes me feel like I have ARFID. What is ARFID? I feel like I should know this. Leela asked, are we all getting the munchies? I mean, not me, because I feel like munchies is directly correlated to marijuana. That's what I would say. I guess you could get I get munchies at midnight. I don't smoke marijuana though, and I don't eat marijuana. But I do have crackers by my bedside because I like to eat random snacks at night. Uh, Furry Slipper says it's rank. Oh, Triscuit Zach says Triscuit, Vegemite, and cheese might be decent. So I haven't tried the Vegemite and cheese and crackers Triscuit. But what I did was I tried it on what did I try it on? Not oh dang it. It's not brioche bread, but it was like not just regular toast either. Anyways, it was good. Uh yeah, like a thick soy sauce. Yeah. It was really it was spicy on my tongue. Um but now I crave it. So, yesterday I ate too much of it. And then I felt like I was like I don't know what it made me feel like. Too many B vitamins, I suppose. So, as an autistic, I discover new things and then I get real excited about it and then I just want to eat a ton of it and then it causes me to not like it because I eat too much of it. So, Orion, you turned me, man. I hate you and I love you for it at the same time. It's all good though. I actually started researching though if I was like missing B vitamins. Like I actually kind of started researching it afterwards because I was like maybe I could just get like some vitamins. I feel like I've been missing some B vitamins because it's making me feel pretty good. Kelly says, night night, everyone. She's leaving. Are you one of the ones that are like, it's like 2 a.m. your time now? Mike, what are you still doing here? It's like 2 a.m. your time, man. Go to sleep. Sriracha addicts here. Sleep is for the neurotypicals. Sleep is for us, man. We need the sleep. Research says we need the sleep. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people here that definitely have like food aversion issues, and that is not me. I am totally open to eating whatever, and I'm grateful for that. Because I feel like people who have all the food aversion issues get judged so much in society. It's just like, just eat it. You're being immature. What's wrong with you? And before I got diagnosed with autism and understood a whole lot better to be a whole lot less judgmental, I would have been in that camp of judging people for having food aversions. Man, so many regrets that I have for judging people. Do you guys struggle with that? With how you judged other people for things and then, oh, I get it now. Like I have issues with things that are out of my control that I didn't recognize before. Zach said, mine is mainly anti-onion and mushrooms. And it's funny because Zach, I read that and I thought that you said anti-Orion. I don't know why I read it as anti-Orion. But I am also anti-onion. That's the only thing that I'm not a fan of, but I could eat it. I could eat it. Ah! Mike. Mike saw it as Mike, I wonder if that's ADHD kicking in, that you saw that as anti-Orion too. Um, Orion, we don't all hate you if you're still here. We adore you. Orion. Orion, are you still here? Orion. I obviously, I'm not averse to mushrooms. So it's funny, lot of you, may have seen my, uh, contribution to Claire's, she does porch coffee every Monday. Claire from Woodshed Theory, for anybody who has not subscribed to her channel. And she has started doing a new segment called um, Autistic Show and Tell. And I contributed something about like hunting mushrooms. Um, and she came up with the greatest like mushroom puns. It was awesome. But that's one of my special interests is mushrooms and hunting mushrooms, foraging them out in the wild. But for quite a while, I'd been talking about wanting to find an Amanita muscaria, which is the inspiration for the Mario mushroom. And it's like red with white spots on it. And it is actually a hallucinogenic. And so I had a whole bunch of people commenting, like, oh, yeah, you found the mushroom. Like, I wanted to find it because I wanted to partake in the hallucinogenic properties, and, no judgment to anybody that does, that wasn't it, that wasn't why I wanted to find it, I just wanted to see one in real life and, enjoy its beauty, and, um, I just it's got a whole lot of spiritual, cultural, artistic, uh folklore. Um, I mean, it's a pretty big deal. And everybody in all of my mycology groups had found one and seen one. And so I even posted in one of my mycology groups, like, I just want to see one in person. And they were like, why? Because to them, it was like a weed. And I had never seen one. And when I finally found one, I am not an emotional person, but I cried and I hugged my husband and I hugged my son who was like so ready to go. He was like, I'm done hiking. Um, Donnell Allen, hey Donnell says my neighbor's yard was full of the red and white mushrooms last year. So cool. Yeah. So obviously there are several different kinds of hallucinogenic mushrooms and they all give you tummy aches. But the ones that you find out in the wild can give you much more of a discomfort. So I was not interested in that. I just wanted to see one in real life, and I was real excited to finally find one. But Mike um, said, I get it. I cry when I find something new and amazing too. Fortunately, it's in the ocean, so nobody sees your tears, man. Um, But dude, that's the way it is, like, when you really have a special interest, it can be so non-emotional, and then, like, explain to me how and I'm about to get a little bit morbid, but both of my parents could pass away, and I was just kinda like, "Okay, that's life. Don't get me wrong, I'm not heartless, I did cry, I miss them, but it was, not what neurotypicals would expect. Okay, let me just say that. Yes, I cried. Yes, I expressed emotions. Um, I had wonderful parents, but it was less than like, I see a mushroom that I've been hunting for because it's my special interest, and I'm like, "Ah, I found it!" We just have very differently wired brains, people. Yes, it was delayed processing. Absolutely, Mike. Um, absolutely. Um, my husband was actually like, "Are you gonna, like, cry? I'm worried about you." And this was before my diagnosis with my mom, when she passed away. My husband was legitimately like, "Are you a monster?" No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that, but he was pretty worried about me, um, because I didn't express it. It was literally like go time and just, taking care of everything. And then it was like 1 week later that I kind of broke down. Um, but I think that that's something that we can all relate to is that delayed processing is pretty huge. Um, Bye, furry slippers. Get some sleep. Chris says, I actually had a similar reaction to my friend dying. And Malha says, I was conflicted. The journey ending was arguably bad for them briefly, then not, but to center myself seemed very selfish. Yeah, that's like a whole lot of empathy, that you felt wanting to not allow the attention to be on you. We have a ton of empathy. As Mike says, this is my reading face. Cats and Clopped. At TJ Zamboni. Okay, I will watch it. Sorry to say I didn't know you also have a channel. I didn't either. TJ. TJ. How did I not know this? TJ, you got a channel? Mike says, I find delayed processing to be a kind of useful skill. On one hand, cool head. On the other hand, breaking down unexpectedly a few hours or even days later. Yep. Yep. 100%. I was absolutely the cool, logical head. And then you're cooking dinner and bam. And everybody wants to offer you condolences in the beginning. So for those of us who have delayed processing, there are a lot of neurotypicals who are kind of like, that was like 5 weeks ago. Not that they're like, they don't care anymore or that they don't understand that it still hurts you, but they are kind of like, it's not as big of a deal now. Like it's been like a month, 2 months, it's confusing to them, because everybody wants to provide support in the beginning. And once we have had a chance to process that grief, it's a while later to where neurotypicals may not understand it, and it can kind of seem like it comes out of nowhere, and that's when we really need the support. Um, but yeah. I appreciate all of you guys talking to each other. It's been great. I really just enjoy how we can all like get together and talk about these things that like outsiders would never fully understand. Yeah, TJ, I'm gonna check you out. You've been another staple on my channel for quite a while, and I had no idea that you had a channel. You do not promote yourself or something. The autistic page says, I love how many of us group together. Yeah, me too. And that's literally why I do these live streams, because I just really like to get on here and monologue and feel like, well, not feel like, just talk to my community and feel less alone. It's a whole hell of a lot easier than like meeting up with people in person. Although I have been thinking about setting something up in Denver. So TJ, I know you're in Colorado. Is anybody else in this chat? Super unlikely, but if anybody else in this chat is in Colorado, I've been thinking about doing a get together in Colorado and maybe doing like a board game or something like that. Autistic Paige, you live in Pueblo. That's still quite a ways away, though. Yeah, lives are more social. Concrete Jungle says it is. And I love seeing all of your familiar faces. Mike says, well, there's been a scuba incident emergency involving a helicopter rescue. We have a debriefing afterwards. I'm and some others perfectly in autopilot throughout, but a few days later, yep. So it could be good for emergency responders, right? Like kind of going back to what we were talking about, being cool-headed during the emergency. That is 1000% me, being cool-headed during the emergency. I mean, I could be in the middle of a plane crash and my house burning down, and I'd just be like, all right, what needs to be done? And it would be that way for like several days. And then it would be like, oh, there's loss involved here that hurts my heart. TJ says Colorado is an amazing place. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. We have a lot of sunshine here. Orion, holy shit. But wait, this is AUS. Dude, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna like that. Orion. Damn, dude. PF, Orion gave you a run for your money. No, that's literally like my whole month's income right there. If you guys think that YouTube is so lucrative when you're first starting out, even having like 10,000, 11,000 subscribers, it's not that. That's a lot of coffee. Well, I don't know. What are your kangaroo dollars? That's going to be at least 5 coffees. Dude, thank you. I'm just glad to see that you're still here, Orion, and that you haven't like +1 Orion. Crit roll. Yes, that's what I call them, kangaroo dollars. Can I tell you how much I have been doing conversions with kilometers and times of day and like just, the metric system versus the empirical system. I never had to do this before I became a YouTuber. Degrees versus Celsius, temperature. I feel like I'm becoming a very learned woman trying to figure out currency exchanges and temperature and KMH to MPH. Like, I never had to do any of this before I started a YouTube channel. And now I'm like, I'm becoming kind of an expert. um, but okay. So what do I do for what do I do for this super chat? I've never had one that big before. I need to come up with something to do for big super chats. um, or maybe I just need to do lives more often. um, Alice says, wonder what the USD to ASD pairs looking like ATM BRB fast. Oh, Stephanie says, play the violin. TJ says, do the Macarena. Macarena. That's a 90s babies thing. All right. Macarena. I mean, that's kind of up my alley, considering that Orion's always giving me shit for my equipment. My old equipment. And so I might as well sing a song from the 90s. Cats and Clop says, do you know that Colorado in Germany is known as a mixed gum sweet mix of Haribo only? Lies. Cats and Clop, do you tell me lies? Really? Haribo are the gummies, right? Colorado is Colorado. I can kind of roll my R's. And that means like color red, because we have all these cliffs with red in them. Zach says, I know what we can call your get together, Gen Con, like Gen Con. Look, guys, if we got together in Colorado, I can play board games. Orion gave me 160 kangaroo dollars, so I could buy some new board games. What do you guys like to play? Am I the only one that likes board games? I talk about them a lot. I feel like nobody else likes board games. I feel like I'm the only one that likes board games. Have you guys played Secret Hitler? Oh, yeah. Cards Against Humanity. I got tired of playing that one because it got a little bit old for me because there's no strategy involved, and I really like strategy games. You guys, I have a lot of money now. Orion donated a lot of money. So what board game should we buy for Gen Con? Exploding Kittens. I have it. Mike, I have Exploding Kittens. I don't know how to play it, but I have it. Have you guys ever played Balderdash? Yeah. Yeah. I got YouTube money now, you guys. I really wish I could be like, Balderdash is a really fun game where you bullshit your answers. So you will have a date, a description, or like a movie title. And so you have to give what happened on the date. Bear with me, guys. Or what the movie was about if it's a movie title, or what the description of the like noun or adjective is. And so one person writes down the correct answer, Yes, Smickety Smooth says Balderdash is great for us high masking ADHDers. So what I feel about this is that like so basically one person writes down the correct answer. Everybody else, they don't know what happened on June 6th, 1924. Nobody knows, but they make it up. You just kind of have to think what was going on in that era. Flappers, flapper dresses, Great Depression, like you make something up. And then, but the correct answer is in there. So you get points if somebody votes for your answer, and then the other people get points if they vote for the correct answer, right? Because the correct answer is in there because they're all handwritten down. And so I don't feel like it's so much an issue of lying as it is um, creativity, because I couldn't lie like that in real life, but it does show a lot of like creativity and intelligence if you can get people to vote for your answer. Um, Softly Crumbling Castle said, did she read the 2K super chat? No, I don't see a 2K super chat. I don't think I had a 2K super chat. 2K NOK? Norwegian krone? Yes, Smickety Smooth says it's storytelling or creativity. Also, I really, really enjoy doing puzzles. So, hey, Travolt, nitrogen, oxygen, potassium, NOP. Yes, Malice, code words. Yes, that's another good one. Oh, okay. Potassium is a K. We're doing periodic table of elements now. Okay. Yeah, Leela, Aran's got a big super chat. So we're talking about what board games we're going to buy with it to meet up here in Colorado. So it's funny because I give myself crap for not knowing things, and then somebody just started quizzing me on the periodic table, and I just started getting them. I feel like I couldn't do that tonight, but maybe. I don't know. Like, we store memories in the back of our mind that just in the memory warehouse that we like bring to the front when we need it. Alkali metals go. No, I can't. Mike says, I'm so tired. I think my eyes are going to bleed. Dude, I tried to tell you to go to bed. Love the stream in the chat. It's quite nice to hang out in the corner like a fashionable fashion thing. Good night, Jen in chat. All right, go to sleep, man. It's like 3 your time now. I got a poker face. Because I actually play poker. I really, really like poker. Because poker is the best get together because I don't have to have any emotions on my face whatsoever. Whatsoever. Yeah, Mike's a party animal. staying up until 3 a.m. Hell's got so for you guys missed my last live stream. Peaches bought like 50 memberships, and then somebody else bought like 5 more, and I can't remember who it was. Oh my gosh, if you're here, please don't be mad, let me know. But like telling you guys, you missed out on my live streams when I don't announce them. Y'all, Jonathan says y'all doing hero hours. Yeah. Mafia uses poker face. No, man. I have poker face all the time. That's why everybody thinks I'm pissed off all the time. I'm happy. This is my face. I'm sad. This is my face. I'm angry. This is my face, you know? Concrete Jungle says, when Mike falls asleep, that's when the cats take over the stream. I don't know. He's got kittens, so I don't think they've learned the trade, you know? Ken on the spectrum. Hey, Jen, be happy. This is my happy face. I already went over that. This is how I show I'm happy. Trevolt says, I honestly think my face is too expressive sometimes. I can be. Obviously, you guys see a lot of expression in my videos, but that's a whole lot of masking. Yeah, girls get told a lot to smile. Leela, yes, my chicks are around. Unfortunately, we lost one of them, which we've never had happen before. We've raised, let me think, 5, at least like 13 or 14 chickens from babies now, and we've never had an issue with one of them dying as a baby, and one of them did, and we were pretty devastated. But for those of you who don't know, I've got backyard chickens, and I have 3, well, I had 3 Ion Samanis, which are a designer breed of chicken. I feel so rich white girl saying that. I'm not a rich white girl, you guys, I swear to God. I shop at thrift stores. I do not like name brands. As a matter of fact, I despise them. I despise everything name brand. But they technically call these things designer breeds because you can't just get them anywhere. They're not like, Barred Rocks or because they're all black. And so, but we got them because they have the sweetest personalities, right? So obviously they give us eggs, but they're real expensive, cost a lot to maintain chickens. So we enjoy their company as well. So they are part egg layers, but mostly pets. And so these Ion Samanis are very, very, very sweet breed. And so we bought a few of them to replace one that we lost, 3, and one of them passed away. And I introduced them in my members only. That's right. See, you guys are members. I introduced them in a members video. So my son was super sad about it. Me, I'm like, the circle of life, I'm just like, it happens. But yeah, Zach was one of the OG members. So yeah, I introduced them We had 3. It was Blue, Charlie, and Delta, which were named after the raptors from Jurassic World. I said Jurassic Park, and everybody got on to me for that. Hey, Curves. What's up, man? Have any jokes written down, Leela? It's funny because I was watching, I like watching comedians once in a while too when I need a break from all of my intellectual podcasts that I listen to. And one of them was talking about being introduced to his friends as a funny guy, and they're like, "Oh, tell us a joke." And he's like, "That is not how that works." I'm just like, walk into a room and have jokes prepared. That's not how comedy works. I like dry humor also. Hi, Jordan. I'm well. Thank you for asking. Bucky Boo. Jen! Bucky Boo! But my favorite comedian right now is what's his name? He's got a stutter. Somebody help me out. I am really having some brain foggy days. Drew Lynch. Good God. Thank you, Bucky Boo. Google help me out. You probably help me out sooner. Drew Lynch is one of my favorites right now. He does some great crowd work, and I really enjoy listening to comedians talk about just there's a science behind it, a social science to working the crowd and sussing out the disposition of your crowd and how you get them engaged and how you deal with hecklers. And we see them jump on stage and just kind of like start throwing jokes out there. And you just think like, oh, clown, entertain me. But there's actually quite a bit to the art form. Dude, Orion's chat is still up there. Orion's super chat. The kangaroo dollars are still up there. So anyways, oh my gosh, I've been going for an hour and a half. Catistic 70 says, I love board games. Thank you. Okay, Catistic. Are you, oh, you're in Boston. Damn it. Oh, yeah, Hannah Gadsby's good. She's all right. I haven't watched a whole lot of her stuff. Drew Lynch does a funny bit about his wife who has ADHD and how she tries to go and fix something on the coffee table and ends up like in 12 other rooms, breaking stuff, going to Home Depot. Like, I'm like, hashtag relatable. Curves Ball says, I think my autistic stories would be funny. Yeah, so actually, I started looking up a lot of autistic comedians too, because there are a lot of funny autistic comedians out there as well. Oh no. Zach says he posted a humorous Gen Con image to the Discord. I can't even. All right. Well, Zach, I'm going to use that image, whatever it is, for when I get everybody together here in Colorado. Leela likes Fern Brady. Yeah, so I want to invite Fern Brady on for a interview. And there have not been a whole lot of people that I've wanted to invite on for an interview. So if any of you have connections, please reach out to her so I can interview her. I like Fern Brady. She is my style of humor. I like her a lot. She is funny. And she's done a lot of podcasts. If you guys have not seen her beyond her comedy, she does a lot of podcasts discussing how hard it is to be a comedian. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are like, "Oh, you could not be autistic and a comedian." And it's like, yeah, we can push ourselves through a lot of things to show our talents to the world, but we really fucking struggle with them. Excuse me. We really, really struggle. Um, oh, Cats and Club says I can't understand her Scottish accent. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm totally straight, but her Scottish accent is sexy. Totally straight, but her Scottish accent is sexy. Zach, you haven't seen Fern Brady. Oh my gosh, Fern Brady. So she is a late diagnosed female, and she has done several. So maybe I should post this in our Discord. She has done several podcasts talking about her late diagnosis of autism, and she's actually written a book, and she talks about how hard it was to go and hang out with other comedians afterwards, after the show, how she struggled to talk to people about the hair and makeup because the hair and makeup, the products that they would use in her hair would really bother her with the smell and the sensories and the lights of the comedy. And she just thought, like, what's wrong with me? She knew she was good at comedy and she knew she had the intellect to be funny, but she struggled with the sensory overwhelm and the socialization aspect, and people walking up to her after the show and expecting her to be as funny in person as she was on stage, which is scripting and rehearsed. It's literally a showing of you have to be really intelligent to get into comedy, but she could do a certain thing on stage, and then people would come up to her after the show and expect her to be as personable and funny as she seemed on stage, and she was like, why can I not human? And so, yeah, if you guys have not checked Fern Brady out, definitely do that. Like I said, she wrote a book. Some of you may have never heard of her. Jonathan says, yay, I've never heard of these folks, so I'm glad to have a slew of new things to see. Yeah. Fern Brady is awesome. Spicy, you left. Why did you come back? Oh, TJ. Oh my gosh. You're in the Discord now? Oh my gosh. Okay. Just letting you guys know, I am not in there as much as I should be, okay? I hop in there and I say hi every once in a while to let you guys know that I'm alive. So if you're in there for me, back out now. If you're in there for other people, you're going to enjoy it. Bucky Boo says stalkers back off. Do we have stalkers? I don't think so. I didn't do a vertical stream, so I don't think I have too many stalkers. But I probably should go. It's been an hour and a half. And all right, you guys, I'll keep in touch with you all about, I know Spicy Autistic just came back. I will keep in touch with you all about Gen Con. And apparently I've got a new graphic to advertise it. We're going to get together and we're going to play Code Names and Balderdash and Cards Against Humanity and whatever other games people want to bring. Because Orion Kelly, that autistic guy from Australia, has sponsored a board game night here in Colorado. Bucky Boo says, "Night everyone but Orion." Orion sponsored this entire chat, you guys. All right, guys. Say goodbye to each other. Say goodbye to me. Orion, are you disappointed with how I'm going to spend the money? It's too late. You can't take it back. We're going to play Secret Hitler. All right. No refunds. No refunds. Orion Kelly, that autistic guy. Okay. Everybody say goodbye to each other. Say goodbye to me, but mostly each other. Mwah.